You read the title. You all know what's coming.
Oh! Nostalgia Critic, you are!
Scrotum of existence.
And you!
Made some more fuck-ups.
And I!
Here to point them out.
Hey, you're pretty good at this.
Maybe I should be my own troll.
No! All I would have left then is leaving comments on YouTube. That's where today's real philosophers are.
Shall we gear up for part 3?
Yes, this is the top 11 Nostalgia Critic fuck-ups part 3, Revenge of the Shit.
Wouldn't that technically be Return of the Jedi?
No! How come everybody always makes that mistake? Return of the Jedi is part 6, Revenge of the Sith is part 3. Just because it came out 6 doesn't mean that
Oh God, just get on with it!
Everything you know is wrong. Black is white, up is down, and short is long. And everything you thought was just so important doesn't matter. Everything you know is wrong. Just forget the words and sing along. All you need to understand.
Number 11.
Everything you know is wrong.
your countless Disney Simber fuck-ups.
Okay, I'm going a little bit out of character here just to talk about the few mistakes I made in Disney December. Granted, most of it's nitpicking, but that's why we're here. I'll go through the ones that were brought up the most. In my Aristocats review, I say that the butler is going to inherit the cat and he wants to get rid of them because he hates cats. Well, technically that's true, except I forgot to mention that the cats were going to inherit all the riches. And once they're out of the picture, the butler will inherit the money. Okay, does that really make the film any stronger? I guess it gives him more reason to kill them, but who leaves money to cats? It's still stupid! Next is, in both Rescuer movies, I say that Miss Bianca is played by Zsa Zsa Gabor, when actually it was her sister, Ava Gabor. Honestly, I'm just impressed that my fanbase knew who either of these women were. I must have more Green Acres fans than I thought. Another is that I say the friends in a Goofy movie are going to a concert when really they were just watching it at home. It was just Max who said he was going to appear at the concert on TV. Again, a minor mess up. But the one that people really freaked out over was when I called the leopard in Tarzan a cheetah. Guess I never knew people were so feline savvy. But yes, that would make this kitty a leopard. It's a cat, it has spots, whatever. Again, minor mistake, but they're worth bringing up.
Minor? How would you like it if I called these things a rabbit, a turtle, a good Super Bowl campaign?
I wouldn't care.
I would!
All you need to understand.
Number 10.
Everything you know is wrong.
Psychiatrists do have to go to medical school, you ass of an ox!
I think most people knew what I meant by this, but it is still technically a fuck-up. What I was referring to in my Patch Adams review is that the character they were portraying would be much better learning to be a psychiatrist as opposed to a doctor who performed operations. But either way, you still gotta go to medical school. Which I reacted strangely to when I heard that he was in the movie. I didn't mean to indicate that psychiatrists aren't doctors, they still have to know the biological, psychological, and social aspects of a patient. That way they can tell if the problem is metabolic or psychiatric. I was referring more that a man who does nothing but act like Bozo the Jackass would be more fitted away from the sharp medical tools, unless they're being used to stab him. I'm also told that bedside manner wasn't at its best even back then, but I still have my doubts that the way these doctors talk was the norm. I mean, they were pretty much saying that all doctors back then were acting like that. And that just doesn't seem as logical. Wouldn't it make more sense if you're a nice doctor that you would get more patients, that they would want to come and see you, that they would prefer you over doctors who are mean? Did Patch Adams really come and transform this? I have my suspicions, but who am I to talk about a time period where I wasn't even a sperm yet? On the plus side, at least we don't have to put up with that horrible doctor bitch spasms again. Yeah, I bet you thought he was gonna come in and do something funny, but nope, I shot him. He's dead, he's right there, lying on the floor. I really should do something about that corpse.
All you need to understand.
Number 9.
Everything you know is wrong.
You shouldn't review Thomas the Tank Engine if you haven't seen the show!
Okay, look, I made it very clear that I never saw this show. I was only reviewing the movie based on the fact that a lot of people want me to review it. And for the most part, people liked it. But to all those people saying I need to see the show before I judge the movie, I'm here to make jokes. Calm the fuck down. I've reviewed movies based on shows I haven't seen before, like the Pokemon movie, the Avengers, heck, even the original Star Trek shows I've barely seen, and I can still get through the movies okay. I'm just judging by what's given to me as a moviegoer. Maybe it is made only for people who watch the show, in which case, I get the feeling I would like the show even less. But sometimes part of the fun is not knowing about it and being really confused. That's what made a lot of people enjoy the Pokemon review. Now, if I said the show sucked despite the fact that I never saw it, then I can understand getting angry. But when I openly acknowledge I've never seen it, I think it just makes for funnier moments when I don't know what's going on. I also hear some people were angry that I was shocked that big names like Alec Baldwin and Peter Fonda were in this when big name George Carlin was on the original show. Well, Peter Fonda and Alec Baldwin for the most part were still doing big dramatic roles at that time. I love George Carlin, but he was doing Tarzan 2 and Scary Movie 3. The shock value's kinda taken down a few notches after you do that. But he's still awesome. Fuck yeah! What are those words?
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd, and twat.
Now if that was in Thomas the Tank Engine, I'd probably like it.
All you need to understand
Number 8.
is everything you know is wrong.
Pee-wee's floor did talk in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yes, in another top 11 list, the top 11 nostalgic mindfucks, I say that the intro to Pee-wee's Playhouse is, well, a nostalgic mindfuck. However, I say at one point that the only thing that never talked was the floor. Well, I was wrong. Apparently, even the floor got up to say a few lines every once in a while. In fact, he even had a name. His name was Flory. And I swear I don't know how I forgot him. Now, because of this, a lot of people have been accusing me of being an anti-groundite. Well, let me tell you something. I have nothing against hard-working floors. Sure, they're taken for granted. Sure, we walk over them all the time. But that doesn't mean they don't have feelings too. Many of my good friends are floors. In fact, I have a good relationship with my floor here. Isn't that right, Howard? Apparently, floors can fire guns. I did not know that. How are you holding that thing in?
All you need to understand
Number 7.
is everything you know is wrong.
Sauron couldn't fly into the Nexus because his ship would explode. Clad!
In my Star Trek Generations review, I asked why the bad guy Sauron couldn't just buy a ship and fly it into the Nexus. Couldn't you just save up your money and be like,
Shuttle, please. My god, that was easy! Hello, Nexus, how are you?
Hey!
well, there actually is a line that explains why.
Why doesn't he just fly into it with a ship?
Our records show that every ship which has approached the ribbon has either been destroyed or severely damaged.
Okay, so a ship can't fly into it. But still, aren't there other creative ways he could have pulled this off? Like, aren't there still spacesuits in the future? If he knows where it's going, can't he just work his way out a bit and wait for it to hit him? And then the ship behind him would be destroyed? Hell, they still have beaming devices. Can't they just beam him in a spacesuit out to the Nexus and then let it hit him? There just has to be easier ways. But, nevertheless, my theory of flying a ship into the Nexus technically doesn't work. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aren't there one or two other screw-ups in your Star Trek Insurrection review?
There's a commentary. Boom! Go listen to it. Sorry about some of the audio issues.
All you need to understand
Number 6.
is everything you know is wrong.
Dunstan's an ape, not a monkey.
As you can probably tell right now, I'm not exactly an animal expert. I can't tell a cheetah from a leopard, and I can't tell a monkey from an ape. An orangutan, to be more specific. But to be honest, monkey just sounds funnier. I don't care if it's wrong, I'll still call him a monkey. I mean, think about it. Imagine if Planet of the Apes was replaced by Planet of the Monkeys. Would you be laughing your ass off at that title? Or imagine if the monkeys were called the apes. That's not nearly as likable. Whatever he is, he's still not funny! Sometimes the choice of words can determine whether or not you get a laugh. Lettuce, for example, is not funny. Cabbage is friggin' hilarious. Watch, lettuce. Cabbage. Fucking funny. And I know that monkeys and apes technically aren't the same thing, but again, lettuce, cabbage. Always works. Pretty basic, he's not a monkey. Next one.
All you need to understand
Number 5.
is everything you know is wrong.
Tapping on the windows can hurt whales, you insensitive prickcock!
Yeah, I'm finding out so much about animals today. In my Free Willy review, I point out that I don't really see the major problem in kids banging on the window of a whale's pen. But it turns out, because their sound is amplified, not only does it sound louder, but they can also interpret it as danger. It can cause stress, lower their immune system, and even kill them. Wow, where the hell was the whale lady on that one? I mean, she was like one of the caretakers, wasn't she? Shouldn't there be a sign, don't hit the glass like little idiots? I mean, I didn't know this. What makes them think that little kids would? Shouldn't there be a person down there or something making sure that people don't do this? I mean, kids do all sorts of stupid things. They watch this for crying out loud. But again, I can't blame the movie technically for this mistake. It's still my own.
That is why you failed.
Oh, come on, you didn't know that.
Didn't I, though? Didn't I?
No!
Well, you're on the internet, and as we all know, all information from the internet is supposed to be right!
You know, Douchey, it just hit me. Why don't you come on board as a fact checker?
No!
Why not?
Because then I couldn't complain about it! Dude!
Next scene.
All you need to understand
Number 4.
everything you know is wrong.
That's a pan, not a pot, you stupid... Stupid!
So, on top of knowing little about animals, apparently I know little about cookware as well. In my Gordy review, I referred to a pan as being a pot. Honestly, I just always assumed they were kind of the same thing. But nope, one has a handle, the other doesn't. Pretty basic, and I'm aware I should know better.
Just don't let Gordon Ramsay know I did this.
Oh, come on.
I'm sure a lot of this comes from spending less time in the kitchen and more time eating sugar-frosted burrito-stuffed Hot Pockets.
Oh, I love those with the extra lard on the side.
Yeah, I know, and the
Delicious.
creamy butter
It's the most
taken from real
incredible thing
liposuctions.
ever. And the side of oil that's found in most suntan lotions.
Those are the best.
They are the best.
I love them.
I love them too. I mean, oh, how dare we almost find something in common?
Nothing too much to say about this one, except, honestly, I just need to spend more time around the stove. Well, maybe not too much.
All you need to understand
Number 3.
everything you know is wrong.
Your Let's Play of Bart's Nightmare. Need I sing more?
Okay, a lot of people, I'm sure, want to see this as number 1. But really, when you get down to it, nothing technically or factually is wrong here. It just turned out to be a really bad video. But with that said, yeah, it's a pretty bad video. I guess I was just too behind the times of how Let's Plays work and what's appropriate to put in them. And boy, does it show. This is up there with Melvin as one of my biggest bombs. It's easily one of the most despised videos because I don't give the Let's Play the proper time and respect it deserves. Now, to be fair, that was sort of part of the joke. Tackling something that I thought was more simple, but it turns out it was much more difficult than I thought. Unfortunately though, the punchline just didn't play out. People got real tired real fast, and it's still considered to be one of the worst nostalgia critics. I even had to spend half of my next review just apologizing for it. Now that's gotta be bad. But really guys, don't worry. I know you're gonna love my Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion.
Alright, never again!
All you need to understand
Number 2.
everything you know is wrong.
Bella didn't want to marry Edward in Twilight. You war whore!
Yes, when I put Bella in my top 11 dumbasses in distress, I brought up that, among her other faults, she was pressuring Edward into marriage. Actually, I got it the other way around. It was Edward that was pressuring her into marriage. Because really, ladies, isn't that a common problem? Men pressuring you into marriage? God, we're just so obsessed with commitment. I guess I got confused by the fact that she was pleading him to turn her into a vampire. Which, from the sounds of it, is a much bigger and even dangerous commitment. So I figured marriage, after asking that, wouldn't be such a big deal. But nope, apparently living her life as a blood-sucking beast of the night for the rest of her life, she's absolutely sure about. But being legally bound together? That's obviously the much bigger issue that takes a lot more time. And don't get me wrong, it is a big issue, and it does take time. But she just hears the word vampire and she's like, I'm in! Now, well, whoever's idea it was, it still makes both of them look like jackasses. But still, fess up when you mess up. It was Edward who wanted to get married, not Bella. I guess that means we can like her now, right?
All you need to
And the number 1 nostalgia critic fuck-up part 3 is...
Your complete misunderstanding of the planet Cyclone.
This one I get a ton of emails about, and to be honest, I can see why. In my Battlefield Earth review, I mentioned how it seems incredibly unlikely that an explosion wouldn't happen on their planet to set off an atmosphere that was radioactive. Especially seeing how violent they were. But actually, the air was a reactive gas, not radiation. Nuclear radiation is what would set it off. And the explosion isn't just an explosion, it's a nuclear explosion. which I guess they're building up that the Cyclos never came across or tested out. We even referenced this in my Star Trek Insurrection review.
It was that the air they breathed reacted violently to radiation!
It's ironic because this brought on one of my biggest outbursts.
This is stupid! 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 Stupid!
But in reality, it actually wasn't called for. So the facts about why the planet really blew up are actually, for the most part, totally legitimate. But I still must ask, how can an advanced, weapon-savvy, violent race not have come up with nuclear fusion? Again, these things are apparently so advanced and so goddamn violent happy that you know they would have come up with something that can be as harmful as nuclear fusion. These guys look for anything destructive, anything hazardous. And yet somehow we, the more peaceful planet, came up with nuclear fusion and they didn't? I'm sorry, I still have a hard time believing it. It's just stupid! 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 Stupid!
Forget it, Nostalgia Critic! You can't argue your way out of this! Nostalgia Critic? Wow, this movie really did a number on you, didn't it? You know what? I'm just gonna leave him in his place. He's the Nostalgia Critic. He remembers it, so you didn't have to. Pray for him.